Hello. This week's episode is Come Wander With Me. And it is the last episode filmed of the classic TV series. Even though there are 2 more episodes to go, this one was the last one filmed. So it's about this, the rockabilly kid who gets a fantastic introduction. No need for expository monologuing or anything like that. You just see the side of his car door. You can sort of work out sort of who he is. And then he puts his guitar on his shoulder and you know who he is. It's great. I really enjoy how they set that up so that you know who he is without having him to talk about himself. It works really quite well. During the intro, the sort of prologue, Rod says, be in 2 places at the same time, which is, I think, the last line chronologically as far as production goes that gets lifted out of the prologues to be part of Michael Jackson's song, which we talked about before. Which they just took lots and lots of clips from the intros and outros and strung them together to talk about this monster. He has a very poor, Floyd has very poor peripheral vision twice. So he gets startled by the shopkeep and then again by Mary Rachel. He just wanders by, not paying attention to them walking, or being sort of on the side of him. Poor guy. But it's weird. I think they could have gotten away with once, but twice makes it like he's oblivious to things. So, Bonnie Beecher, who plays Mary Rachel, she got picked for this episode. Richard Donner, who directed, said that he saw something special in her, that she's going to go far. She's going to be something. And it's been mentioned multiple times. And she had a very short career, only 4 years. This is her first appearance on screen. She did a handful of things. She did a Star Trek episode, a classic Star Trek episode, and then retired in 1968. So she only did like a handful of things. And then she did other things with her life. I guess Hollywood wasn't for her. Good for her. There's a lot of people who clearly aren't meant for Hollywood who stick around and be miserable. I hope that she had a better life for it. But it's interesting how they picked her because she was going to have this promising career. And then she sort of went, I think I'm done. She does a really good job and has a fantastic singing voice, obviously. When Floyd sings, is of course another person who does the singing for him, and he lip syncs it. That's not the same voice at all, but that's what happens. There are 2 instances where the camera moves towards the people sitting, and branches are lifted away, like so. You can do that because you don't want to slam it into the camera, especially if you have a mic close to it, because then you're going to rustle the microphone. Don't want to do that. So he smashed the guitar into Billy, punches him, he dies, according to the song at least, but he's still breathing. You can tell, because it's hard to play dead. This is, the forest is shot on a soundstage, and there's a particular moment where he skids on the undergrowth because it isn't actually attached to anything and he sort of slides on it like it was a rug. But at least you get to shoot unimpeded by wildlife and bugs and weather and whatnot. So this is all some sort of time loop. And we've seen time loops before. The last time we saw time loop, the elder version of the protagonist, I guess, was dressed all in black, which is the same here. So that comes back. And he has sort of repeated this a few times. It's just, but stay with me this time. One has to wonder if there's a meta-narrative that you could sort of be part of at this stage and sort of see, well, how many times has he done this? And has he done things differently? And how did that react? That always intrigues me when we have these sort of loops things going on. So Liza Minnelli was actually in casting for this episode, but she was too nervous and didn't get selected. So Bonnie Beecher got her slot. And I think it could have been cool to see Liza Minnelli in this, but now we get Bonnie Beecher instead. I'm not unhappy about that. Liza Minnelli could probably have sung the shit out of the song too. The whole idea, the sort of concept behind this is interesting because this is something that happened with singers traveling the countryside trying to pick up folk songs and making their own. Bob Dylan, for instance. There's a lot of this that goes on, and there's even a famous, I guess it has to be Rolling Stones, that was picking up songs and making it their own. And then famously someone said that how many great undiscovered songs are there? We have to start making our own. But there was a thing that people did, and he talks about this. Floyd talks about this public domain. I can use this and I can make it mine. I can, make buck off it. This song, of course, is written for this episode, and it was featured instrumental, no vocals, in the Day of the Evil Gun in 1968, which is a western, I think. And then it was featured in like a movie with vocals and everything in 2003 called the Brown Bunny. And then the instrumentals again pop up in a commercial from 2006 for some Dutch company. It's very weird. But it's a weird little song, and we don't get to hear all of it, but clearly it is about this that happens. Also note that we don't get to see the last lines of Floyd's headstone. We don't get to actually find out dates and things. We're coming up on the end of the last series, and the next episode is The Fear. And I look forward to seeing you then. Take care now. Bye.